WouHou I'm a doggo and I sneeze sneeze sneeze. WouHou I'm a doggo and I sneeze sneeze sneeze.
Hey. Anyone there? Hello. How's the webcam looking today? My hair's looking a little funny, huh? Well. G'day, y'all. How's everyone? Hey, Waste. Hey, Monus. Hey, Donut. Maybe I'll have a post-stream bath today. I'm feeling snoozy. I finished work a little late today, and I was going to immediately play some WouHou, but then I spent about... God, my hair is weird. Spent about an hour and a half trying to fix my audio drivers on my PC. They got broken because I stupidly decided to accept a Windows update. But I fixed that eventually. I got to play WouHou for like an hour and a half, and now I'm here. Crazy, right? I do not need to download the latest version of Firefox, don't worry. I'm sure if there's a security flaw, I've already succumbed. Anyway, hey everyone. How's your day been? I would have liked to play more WouHou, but I think it's maybe good to break. Hour and a half isn't very much, but you know, it's better than nothing. Alright. I've been having some pretty poor sleeping lately, actually. Quite like cranky. Everything's like achy. It's not good. Anyway, if you remember, the end of yesterday's stream, actually, we did this. We created the ability to spawn a bullet and fire it and not fire it, and pretty good stuff, right? And we added the ability to cull stuff that goes off the screen, which is what's happening at the top here. Hey Lucas, yeah, we're building a game. Anyway, let me just briefly change something. When I'm spawning the player, I actually want to spawn them at 0. I want them at the bottom of the screen. I keep forgetting that we start in the bottom left. You've added some integer constructors to donut color just for you. Well, thank you. You mean as in, instead of between 0 and 1, you mean between 0 and 255? Cool. That'll be a time saver. I'm used to doing... Although I'm not. Like, Swift is weird. They do the 0 to 1 thing, and then Kotlin and Java do the 255 thing. Why is :C censored? I don't know. Odd. Anyway, the plan for today is to do the next step, which is to create an enemy that I can spawn. The enemy will shoot at the player. When the player is shot by the enemy player will explode instantly. And when the player shoots the enemy will explode instantly. So just by doing that, we'll have a system in place for spawning enemies. We'll have a system in place for aiming at something and shooting at them. We'll have collisions set up of some kind for both players and enemies. And that, you know, if we can get that all done today, that would be good. But at least we can get started on it. And considering how much progress we made last stream, we made a good few components. I'm feeling positive. I felt good the last few WouHou streams. We always seem to end with a big piece of development. So let's get started on that. Let's have a think. You've just arrived. Yeah, I saw that they confirmed a TF2 update this summer. That's... Wow, can't believe they're going to add more hats. More custom maps. More hats. Weapon skins. You know, all the content. All that fun content that does stuff. Alright. Hey. Yeah, political channel. Hey, Spycraus. Let's get started. Can you hear me in the music okay? I hope so. Also, I'm assuming you've all seen, but I released a new Minecraft video yesterday. I liked the thumbnail for it. I thought it was cool. They're adding the sex update to TF2. God damn, finally. I've been waiting so long. That's exciting, actually. Nice. Okay. Well, there's no sex in WouHou, okay? This is a Christian stream. We're gonna make enemies that we can rail. Alright, so let me get started. Let's go to Template Factory. I'm going to make a template called spawn enemy and then see where that takes me. We're just gonna do this, and we're just gonna see what we need and move on. So we're gonna just do spawn test enemy. Okay? Is it going to need to be culled outside of a certain space? I think my design for WouHou was going to be a bit more like Galaga, where you need to kill stuff. I don't think I need to worry about playable space right now. So I'm not going to pass it in. We're going to keep things simple. Obviously, the enemy is going to be the player, you. So we can keep all this the same. Transform is perfectly fine. Hello. Oh yeah, I noticed when I launched Visual Studio, it just said, like, the, what's the fucking plugin called? Clanged. They just said, like, it's broken and it's not going to restart it. So I'm just going to, like, see if I can fix it by restarting it. Because that being broken is quite annoying. There's a shortcut which is probably faster than reloading the window. Oh yeah. Is it still broken? So I've disabled it. I'm going to enable it. I might need to uninstall and reinstall it. I don't know if that's necessarily. Settings? Extension setting. Oh, is it extensions keyboard shortcuts? Oh, actually, hang on. What are the settings for this? Check for updates. Yeah, go on then. There might be a new update. Maybe this is why it's broken. Auto restart up to 4 times if it crashes. I guess that was the issue. Like, it just crashed so many times it probably didn't restart. But if I look at shortcuts, here we go. Restart language server. It doesn't exist. But I guess I could add it. Sure. Let's do shift page down. Really? Things use that? Oh, okay. Let's do something else then. Reset language server. Shift alt page down? Because it's quite an easy combo to do. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, that seems... Oh, hang on. It's showing the error where it, like, doesn't want to start. Let's uninstall it. And install it, maybe. Is this my little notification? 5 new notifications. Yeah, you know what? Update clanged. Maybe that'll fix it. Alright. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Oh yeah, it just doesn't work. It's just broken. Alright. Superb. Good fucking lord, there's so much spam in here. Clear the output. Try again. Connection to server was closed. Unknown. Oh, it's because of this. Get rid of that. Wait, Donut, did you break it? Donut? You break my Clang D. Hang on. It's because there's a space in front of the argument. It doesn't trim the argument. Of course not. Okay. It's still my fault. You know what? Fuck you. Your fault. Let's get back. Oh, look, it's beautiful. It works again. Alright. Have I considered using C# instead? You know what? I hadn't. I did my A-level? My second year of A-levels in C#, I think. I remember nothing. That's all. Alright. Okay, so spawn test enemy. Enemy position. Collision. I'm going to be honest. In this game, collision isn't going to be like, you know, Pokemon collision where it bumps into walls and jumpy bits. Collision is going to be like, can collide with bullets. You know, it's anything with a collision hull, if you will, or a hitbox. I could call this hitbox as well. But that's how I'm going to decide on this. Are bullets going to need collision? You started making a game yesterday with C# and Godot. Oh, cool. Or Godot. They removed any of your progress by releasing 4.0 this morning. But you don't have to update to the newer version. Or have they replaced a bunch of your stuff? There's a reason people still use Unreal Engine 4 and 3. Does the bullet need a collision? Whatever. We're not going to worry about that for now. Spawn test enemy. Well, that's what we're thinking about. So the sprite is the same stuff as before. Let's get rid of that. Trailing bloody semicolon. Let's just like one line all this stuff. Okay, that's much nicer. It's kind of ridiculous how much space some of this stuff's taking up. I kind of want to play more randomizers soon. I think we will. Maybe this weekend or on Friday. Braces around Scalia initial. Okay, go on then. Fucking Alt F8 is not a good command for me. Well, go on then. What's the fix? We'll do a quick fix then. Go on then. Oh, you just don't need it. Okay, fair enough. As expected. Bom ba bom, bom ba bom. I really like this album. Oh, you want to use Vulkan support? Fair. Moi. Oh, you at least got it working, right? What's up? Ah, okay. So we don't need restrictive movement. The enemy... Is it going to have movement input? For now, the enemy's not going to have any bloody legs, alright? Or physics. And it's not going to respond to actions. No legs. It is going to have a weapon. Bom, bom, bom. I guess for now the weapon can just be the player. No. I need to make some sort of enemy AI that decides how often to shoot. Yeah. Okay. Like an enemy controller. Sprite, animation, transform. Alright, this should be the most basics of basics, just to draw something to the screen, basically. I'm a little chilly. Take me to game. Spawn player. I'm also just going to spawn an entity, like, slightly above the player. Like in the middle of the screen, maybe. Green... Green... Center Y. Let's call this test enemy entity. Really, if you want Donut to smile, you do one of these old funnies. I don't remember if you need a curly brace at the end of that. Probably not. Let's be real. But yeah, you know what? I don't think you do. I'm just gonna call it entity. There you go. We're gonna do spawn test enemy here, and just like that. That should just put a thing. I don't think we need to do anything special. That should just place a sprite in the middle of the screen. I hope. Yeah, there you go. They fire with the player. That's probably not right. Because it's for every player. Oh yeah, this was the bug that we were talking about last stream, where I said the weapon currently just checks for anything with a weapon. So the enemy has a weapon, so they fire as well. That's a good start. We need to modify weapon system slightly. So for every weapon with a transform... No, this isn't it. This is fine, actually. It's action responder system. There we go. So for every entity with a weapon, it should be for every entity with a weapon and an action responder. Of course, that's silly. I mean, obviously something in this... Everything in this system should use action responder. That's the simplest idea. Where am I looking? Actually, this is now gone. This going on the next line is actually a little annoying. I can fix that. This can be const. It's not actually being changed. I don't know if I need to do anything else. What's wrong? This should be fine. Maybe I just need to build. No, it's not fine. Did I remove something? What have I done? Will your bullet hell have damage types or just damage? It'll have damage types, I think. I discussed at some point it would be fun to have some sort of... It might only just be a character. I thought I might separate gimmicks on a per character basis, but like maybe there'd be a character that like does elemental damage as their gimmick. Like you can switch weapons and it's like, you know, 2 or 3, you know, like Pokemon elements or something. But I'm not worrying about that for now. I'm just going to do plain old destroy anything in one hit. Just for now. Step by step. You can pass registry.create directly into the function if you don't want to think of the name for every entity. Oh. Next, I guess it just returns the entity. Yeah. What have I done here? What did I change? Weapon, action responder, action responder. Now, why would this break? Hang on. This looks normal. Entity weapon action responder. Entity movement input. Compare it to the loop below. Why are you a reference? I mean, I made this const, but that's not it, is it? Empty structs aren't instantiated in the registry. Yeah. Do I just need to not? I just don't have it here, I guess. Because it doesn't have like, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, okay. Sure. There you go. So that pretty simply fixes that. Only stuff that should fire. We might change this at some point, but this might work for now. The main menu probably won't be given a weapon, unless we want a cool main menu where you shoot stuff, like nuclear throne. This is dope though. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to make a component called... I'm thinking. For now, I could just make a component called like... shoot at player AI component or something. And I'm wondering how I'd refactor that in the future. So I'm trying to think, right? In Touhou and Gallagher and Bullet Hells, the most common mob enemy, which this is going to represent for now, it just... Your spawner movement is irrelevant, but it just shoots at the player every so-and-so, right? That action of just shooting at the player every so-and-so should just be a component, I think. Could I just call it basic enemy component? Player enemy? Hey Robson. Well, naming doesn't matter so much as long as it's explicit. So we'll make a new component and we'll see if this is sensible or not. Struct shoots at player periodic. You know, I'm sure we'll come up with a better name later, so let's just put something down for now so we're actually writing code. Shoots at player periodically. Needs to have a... don't know if it needs anything, actually. Enemy AI system. How about shoots at player periodically? We just call a fucking enemy. just call it enemy, right? Because that ties into... Well, You know what? We can have enemy, and if some point we come up with different types of AI, we could have, like, you know, shoot at player equals true. Yeah, it's another bullet shoot / weapon thing. Well, I'm trying to think, right? Enemy here, for me, implies that it's going to get destroyed when I hit it with a player bullet. Which makes sense. Every enemy will get hit by player bullets. But not every enemy will shoot at the player, which is what this is meant to represent. But maybe that's fine. Maybe, you know what? Yeah, let's just go with it for now. If we need to rename and restructure, we do that later. Let's just have an enemy, and let's just make a nice, simple ass... Oh, don't... never do Control N, ever. We're gonna have a bloody... rename this thing. Enemy system. Or, you know, there you go. Don't overdo it early on. Just WouHou enemy system. Nice and easy. It's so hard not to, like, mentally think everything through in the future. and then you just get stuck in a loop where you never do anything because you're worried about putting anything on the paper. So even if I'm being stupid, hopefully you will understand that I'm at least trying to just make some progress. This can do whatever the bloody action responder system was doing here. So, during tick, for every entity with a weapon and a enemy component, what's this? Oh, it's a trigger, so it's whether it's true or false. Constantly for now, so just constantly fire at the player. Oh, this is tick info. Hang on, this is done in tick. Where are you done? Are you done in update? Update. Update. Keyboard should be an update because that's ran as often as possible. I think enemy could just be put in tick. Because it's okay, enemies don't feel input lag. And the player won't notice if the enemy's shooting every 16th. Like if their bullets are being updated to shoot or not, and it's every 16th of a second. Or every instant, you know? I think this is fine. This should be like a minor frame rate improvement. The enemies not to have to check constantly to fire. I think. I think it's tick interval. So for every bullet to fire, usually one, we're going to just shoot up for now. That's fine. Could pass the player position in here. That would do what we want. But for now, I'm just going to make it fire straight up. You know, actually, fuck it. Let's make it fire straight down. That has a similar effect. Did I check it out? I did. I saw that. Aren't there like a few updates every year? What can... I don't want to sound stupid, but what makes this one special? In Tier 2, the bots think at like 7 Hz and no one notices. Yeah, there you go. Because the animations aren't going to be like choppy. It's just their decision making. That's fine. Yeah, there you go. This probably just works, I think. I mean, we're getting better at this. It really is just a case of the more you do something, the better you get, right? Enemy system. Like, when I started this project and I look back at what I did in old WouHou, I was like, how the fuck did I write any of this? I don't understand any of this syntax or what I did. But you just gotta start doing it, right? I wonder if we should shoot the bullets after the enemy moves. Because otherwise it might look like the enemy spawns a bullet and then they actually move next physics turn, so the bullets spawn out of thin air. So I'm thinking, although the weapon system's fired here. Let's just put it here for now. I don't know how big of a difference it's going to make. We can reshuffle stuff if we need to. Hang on a second. Why are you... There are two of you. Okay, don't worry. Let's just chuck it in here. Enemy system. Although maybe that should be at the end. And then they fire next tick. They decide to fire one tick and then fire the next tick? If it's a bullet hell, there'll be no time or reason for the player to check how often enemies shoot. Oh yeah, that as well. You're playing Pizza Tower. I saw that. Was it you that maybe posted on Discord? I remember that from a while ago. It's like a Wario Land looking thing. It's cool looking. Unique. Retro. Fun. I like it. Haven't played it. What did weapon system need to be crafted? Do you need template factory? I think you do actually, don't you? This might just work. What did I forget? Or will you just launch? Okay, this enemy is not... Oh, the enemy doesn't have the component. Okay. We're gonna give it... enemy. Don't know if I need to pass anything else in for now. So let's just try this. That's not working. The enemy... That's a bullet. The bullet is an enemy. Hang on, do bullets shoot the player then? No, I guess not. The bullets don't have weapons. My mad. Alright, try this. Hey! I mean, it's constantly firing. It's firing the wrong way. Why is that? I thought I made it so it was minus 250. I didn't? Oh. This should be from the weapon, right? Linear motion. No, hang on. Enemy system. LM, linear motion. The bullet has its own linear motion. Hang on, why is this being passed in? Spawn bullet, hang on. Spawn bullet, linear motion. Hang on a second. Weapon dot bullets to fire. Bullets to fire is a standard list of bullets. You already have a bunch of bullets, dude. Oh, hang on, you have a struct called bullet. Why is that called linear motion? That's confusing. Bullet velocity? I don't know if that's stupid. It's kind of stupid. How about just bullet movement? Movement? Intended movement. That at least means it isn't named after the class. Right, hang on here. Spawn bullet. Explain to me, weapon system. You're spawning... You have a weapon here. For every bullet to fire, this should be, instead of this, linear velocity is the bullet to fire dot linear motion. But it's not linear motion. Why do you think it's called that? I probably need to build for it to update. Initial velocity? I think initial velocity might be better. Hey, Linley. Is this now updated? Yeah, okay. This makes more sense. Linear motion. Oh, hang on, sorry. Let's rename this. I think I prefer that. Initial velocity. Fine. Bullet is in here. Initial velocity. Try this. What's up? Linear motion. Oh, whoops. You could just do this. Right? Okay. Oh my god. It worked. It could be a vec2. Yeah. No, actually... Yeah, because I guess it's just the struct. It's not actually... It doesn't need the component. I thought I'd reuse the component in case I end up modifying linear velocity, and then I could apply the linear velocity later, but then that seems a little convoluted. I think you're right. Vec... Wait, is it a vec2 or vec3? Oh, it's a vec3. Sorry, linear... Initial velocity can be a vec3. Linear motion, spawn bullet. Alright. This, I mean, I know I'm just fiddling here, but I feel like this should be more like this. I feel like we should pass in... Dude, these fucking tooltips are killing me. They're like eating my mouse input. Spawn bullet. This can be a vec3. Initial velocity. And here we go. Alright, that just seems a little bit more sensible. Toggle inlay hints. I might do that. Because they can be useful, but just right now it's not what I need. What's wrong, my dude? You don't need this. You can be happy with just this. Add bullet. You can also just be this. Can I make it so this passes in the constructor for bullet, so I don't have to wrap it in bullet? Is there a way in C++ to do that? Where it's, instead of having to, you know, pass in weapon bullet here, I can just pass in the construction parameters as if I'm building it. I guess that's more of like a factory builder sort of thing. It doesn't matter. Let's get rid of these inlay hints. What is it? Control-Shift-P? Inlay. Yes, you can do perfect forwarding. In place does, but it's quite complicated. Okay, I'm not going to worry then. Not big deal. Whoops. Sorry, this doesn't go back and forth between... This moves the thing. Huh. Okay, Oops, there we go. Alright, let's chuck in the player position. Enemy system. Does the enemy system need to know where the player is? Or... Type name args. Oh, you pass them in like the main function. Okay. Kotlin has a nice var args thing I've been using a little bit lately. It's cool, comfy. I hadn't been using it much. I've been using a lot of templates lately, actually. Something which I hadn't explored too much. It's lovely. Okay. What's wrong, dude? Why are you complaining? Oh. This is fine, dude. What are you complaining about? What are you... Sorry, what have I done? Oh, I deleted some of the wrong stuff. Good old Control Z. How about now? Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright. Let's add bullet. This is the action responder system. Enemy system. This needs to be the player's position, so I'm wondering how I should store that. The enemy system, I could pass in the player entity, but then that relies on the player being existent. I could... Game going well? It's going well, thank you, robot. Look at this. A few minutes in, we've managed to spawn an enemy that shoots down. I'm now working out what the best way might be to make it shoot at the player. I just need to pass the player's coordinates in here, but I'm wondering what the neatest way to pass the player in here is. I could have a global variable for it, which would literally work, but I dislike that because it means you're basically hard coding it to only have one player. Which is probably the case, but I still don't... I prefer not to do that. I could pass in the player entity into enemy system. But then if I change or delete or destroy or modify the player entity, I'd also have to somehow inform the enemy system, I think. I don't really like that. I don't like this... I don't like systems being tied together too hard. I really just need a way of this to get the... I could have it like a polling thing, where it is a global variable, but it's just called like target. Add an inner loop for all player entities and just choose one. I could do that. I could just get the... Yeah, I mean, I guess it's in the repository, right? I'm going to inevitably need like a team system anyway, so I guess I could make it so the player is just an empty component. That's fine, actually. Let's do that. That simplifies a lot of things, I think. So just an... Here we go. Enemy system. We go to game. No, template factory. Spawn player. Player is going to be here. This simplifies things like a lot, I think. Enemy system. During tick, I don't know if I need to necessarily put this in a for loop or if I can just do like dot first. So registry dot view player dot first. No. Front. Does this return an optional? Returns the first entity of the view, if any, or null. Okay. No, hang on. Sorry, hey Rob. Would it be better to tell the weapon on enemy the position of the player so it would shoot at it, or make the weapon's bullet spawner rotate to face towards the player? There's not really any rotation here. It's just 2 points in space. The weapon also doesn't have a... Does the weapon have a position? What does the weapon have? It does have a fire position. Although I think this isn't being used right now. Or is it? Hang on. I don't think the fire position is being used. Yeah. Currently not being used. Really, I'm thinking the fire position is more like fire offset. So if you have the enemy, but you want the bullet to spawn slightly in front or somewhere else and have it spin around, you could do that. But, yeah, the weapon could have... I don't know if functionally it matters if the enemy or the weapon knows where the player is, but weapon is sort of a general thing that the player could have, and then the player having a component that knows its own position would be a bit weird. Whereas the enemy, like, you know, seeing or whatever where the player is might make sense. If I wanted to, I could add in... Yeah, I kind of like how I'm doing it now, I think. Because in this system, I'm going to try and grab the player's position. If I wanted to add in a bit of, like, deviation, like if the enemy's blind, you know, I can have it fire a bit off to the side. I could apply these changes here. So it knows where the player is, but maybe it has like a CSGO bullet pattern where it does like that. For example, I could do that here. Hey, Wiz. Oh, thanks, Wiz, for the 46 months. What if the enemy is smart? What do you mean? Initialize cooldown. Do I want to initialize it? Does this... Do you not want to pass in 0F for that? Dude, come on. Hang on. Like that? Does it need 0F? I don't remember if you said it had a default or not. I thought you said it was the default. It defaults to 0. Okay. Twitch finally let you use your prime. Hell yeah. It can predict the player's future position based on the vector of their movement. Yeah, I think I might do something like that in the future. But at least with bullet hells, having enemies that actually shoot you is horrible. It's really horrible. But it only affects you if you're moving in a constant direction. Like, if you're moving like this, and you're here now, and you can mathematize that you'll be here. Having the enemy shoot there instead of there makes it smarter, because the player can just sort of immediately move back, and the player does this and they won't get shot, which I think's fine. If I want to add the enemy being smart, I think I could chuck that in here still, right? In the enemy controller, wherever we are. Thank you for reminding me. That's a good system to remember. But in the enemy system here, I'm just going to get the position. Hang on, how do I do this in C++? Val, not Val. Player... View? Does this... Hang on, what does this do? Player... View dot... Oh, sorry. Semicolons. How do I do this? You can do the same thing on bullets to fire to not have to repeat standard vector bullet twice. Okay. Will there be curving bullets? Yeah, I mean, there's going to be all sorts of systems. We just need to get the most basic stuff in place. So far, that's just shooting down. The next step is shooting at the player. The next step maybe is predicting or having a curve. In WouHou, I don't remember how much of it you've seen. We had a few different bullet types. We did have like a path system. It was sort of very convoluted. But you could have bullets, you know, do whatever you want. So in one of the example boss fights, we had bullets that sort of like did like a staircase effect, and you layered them so the whole screen was like this. Like that. Wait. Yeah, like that. Extrapolating player position seems abusable. Yeah. Well, a common thing in bullet hells is something called streaming, I think. Which is different to Osu, but it's when you like just slowly move to the side like this, if you look at my mouse cursor. And all the bullets will sort of go like this. If you just go straight left and right, the screen will be littered in millions of bullets. Whereas if you slowly move like that, you dodge everything because you can predict where the enemy's going to shoot. Which is fine for mob enemies, but then you have slightly smarter enemies that will maybe just shoot out of random. You know, they shoot out a pattern that's irrelevant to your movement, or it actually homes in a little bit, like curves, like a Bezier curve or something, I don't know. Abusing it is a mechanic you want to encourage. I want to encourage consistency. I want to have zero randomness if possible. So things can appear random, like the first time you play it, you're like, how would they know? Like, why would the bullet go there? But like, if you're either you got good enough reaction times or you play it more like a couple times, you start to realize that the patterns are all set in stone. Like, you know, CSGO and its bullet patterns, right? The AK goes like that, right? It goes up and then to the side. There's like a standard, there's a standard pattern, and then there's a deviation. I would implement something like the standard pattern, where enemies don't introduce inaccuracy. Well, no, I think introducing inaccuracy is fine as long as it's consistent. Recoil pattern. Yeah. So if the enemy had a recoil pattern, like a, you know, obviously marked enemy or something, where it shot slow few bullets, but maybe it went right, left, and then slowly became more accurate until it saw the player. That's something consistent, right? I think I'd be fine with that. If you were to restart and play that scene over and over again, it was the same every time, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't like inaccuracy, don't worry. I'm a strong contender for disliking inaccuracy. They haven't changed it, have they? Because like when I played CS in 2013, 14 or whatever, the AK would shoot one of 4 corners down dust long, and a perfect lined up headshot would miss like 2/3 of the time or so, or sorry, like 3/4 of the time or something, or 1/4. I don't remember. There was something to do with quarters. But like just first shot inaccuracy on long, a very common sightline, just sometimes would miss. And I think that's stupid. I think it's really stupid. I think players should be as strong as the game lets them, personally. Although, I mean, yeah, sometimes where it breaks, like the pistol in TF2, if it has perfect accuracy, it does insane DPS. Like in close range, obviously the bullet does the most damage, there's less fall off. But you can kill so much stuff with just the pistol clip. At mid-range, if it was perfectly accurate, you could probably kill like a scout with it. So you have to think about balancing inaccuracy with the type of weapon. I think with the pistol in TF2, it's so inaccurate that you usually miss about half your shots. So if it was perfectly accurate, you'd probably want to make it do half as much damage or something to compensate. You think on long it's fine? It's pretty long on Dust too. I just don't like inaccuracy. I think it's weird. Banny with the pistol. People forget about quad. You think it should have 100% first shot accuracy because it's so damn close. The small deviation does exist and it's a random annoyance. Like, it's a small chance. Spy crabs, I'm going to shove this pen up your nose. Alright. Anyway, sorry. Player view. What are you? You are a basic view type list. So this should be the equivalent of this, I'm assuming, right? I don't know if you also need to be like this. But this should theoretically be... I'm writing this like Kotlin. You can't write this, and it'll be more like this. It would be... like this. Well, it wouldn't have auto at the front, huh? I don't know. Actually, hang on. Explain to me why I have auto here and this. Are these just names of the things in there? Like, I'm autoing the class. Sorry, I'm not autoing, sorry. I'm autoing whatever the response is, but I want to be able to name the args. Whatever. I'm wondering why I can't do player view dot. Do you plan to let your players have a lot of variety in weapons to shoot back in this? Yeah, so design dogs. We did like an Aspirate stream a few streams ago. I think it was 2, where we were coming up with different ideas for the different characters. And I always like the idea that like you can pick a character based on your play style, right? There'll be an easy one that, you know, maybe the bullet's home and they do a bit less damage. And they have good mobility, and it's simple. And then there would be maybe a really difficult gimmick character that, like, you know, reflects or is melee based, or you know, the bullets wiggle or they go off to the side or something. But if you aim it, it does perfect damage or something. I don't know. But yeah, the idea is that we'd have a few different characters with different gimmicks. I also spoke. I kind of like the idea of adding more gimmicks, where like. You'd have stuff like parries. I think parries are really fun. So if you like perfectly parry a bullet, maybe it makes you do a little bit more damage or something. I don't know. And then it cools down after like a second. So if you're parrying, and shooting, really stressful. But like if you're a good player, maybe you could pull that off and you'd get a bit of a damage boost. I like the idea, like I mentioned it before, I was going to spawn, instead of something like Toho, which is a bit of like sort of on the path, the game is like a set length. Like you can skip through boss spell cards by doing, you know, enough damage, but for the most part the level is kind of the same length every single time. I was going to make it so enemies sort of spawn in waves, and if you delete every enemy, it like almost immediately will spawn the next one, or you know, it'll start to spawn the next one sooner. So if you're a bad player and it takes forever for you to kill everything, the game's quite long. But if you're quick and you take loads of risks, and I bake in some ways to, you know, do more damage if you take risks somehow, you can speedrun through the game quickly. So there'll be like a fun little sort of balance. I like that. And there'll be a leaderboard and stuff, I reckon. I like a leaderboard. Oh my god, don't know what's this. Auto thing B equals A. Auto... Wait, hang on. Auto reference XY equals A is more or less equivalent to... Auto B equals A, auto X equals B, auto Y equals B dot Y. What? Oh, okay. So you're getting... I understand. So do I need to do... Wait, hang on. What do I do here, though? How do I access the variables here? Would I not do like auto blah equal entity player entity equals player view? You did like this dot get thing. I mean, that might not be quite right, but auto blah blah xy. I don't want to do that. I want to do entity player. Well, sorry, I need to also pass in their position, right? What's wrong? Is this not quite... Front just returns an ID. You use that to get the actual component with registry.get. Hang on, what's the difference between registry.view? Returns a view for a component. They're created on the fly to share with the registry with its internal data structures. Creating and destroying a view is really cheap. Storing a view should never be an option. Okay. So the view here is just returning the first ID of an entity that has a player and a transform. Right? So I want to do auto blah player entity equals registry.get player. Well, I call it player view. Could I call it player ID? How do you lot feel about the ID with a capital D or not scenario? Non-const L value reference to tuple cannot bind to a temporary of type tuple. What about one of these old beans? I mean, I guess this stuff should be const, you know, yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to modify the player. Registry.get. This returns an entity. Hang on, I've confused this. Lead-eating Pac-Man. What? Bonus currency for being fast. Oh yeah, if you go quick enough, you unlock a new hat. How about that? If you 1 CC in a certain time span. Character that takes constant damage as time passes gets healed when they get hit by bullets, while bullets auto unhome to avoid the player. Dude, that's a sick gimmick. That'd be cool, like challenge, like Binding of Isaac challenges. Hit the bullet. Have letter grades for aspects and only make them 3 things so it's possible to get ass in that order. Hell yeah. You say ID without a capital D because it's short for identifier, not an acronym. Perhaps, but like it's pretty common to write ID like this. This is very common. And perhaps normally I'd agree, but like this is colloquial. If someone asks you for your student ID, you write it like this. Or at least every fucking card I've ever seen would write it like this. It's not that uncommon. But I was just interested to see. View returns all entities with the components A and B. Get AB entity gets the components from that entity. Okay, so this view. Do I need to... Hang on, do I need to pass in... Do I need to pass that in? Do I need to do that? I don't think I do. But that is what this is. No, wait, this is just an ID. Hang on. Hang on. Registry.get gets this entity. Sorry, I'm having a headache here. Why was this so easy to write in the for loop? Weapon.view, I presume, would give you some sort of collection of this item. This item is this. What is the syntax for that? Is it this? I think that's my issue. Dot each does its magic. Does the magic? Oh, dot each. Well, it's an iterator. Returns an iterable object. Returns the tuple that contains the current entity and a set of references to its non-empty components. Ah, well. Okay. So I need to do whatever that does, I suppose. Extended view iterator. This is probably a bit deep for me to be looking. You wouldn't use it in this case. The thing you're missing is just the component types on get. Do I need to... I mean, this shouldn't be here. This is an ID. This is essentially like a number. It's a hash or whatever, however they store them. Should have been in bed an hour ago. Dude, go to bed. Does this maybe need to be more like one of these old boys? That's not it. Get doesn't know what component types you want to get from the entity ID unless you tell it. Do I chuck it? Is get more like this then? Do I chuck them in here? Is it get these things that match to that entity? Oh, hang on, sorry. Wait, what? Do I need to pass these in here as well? This seems messy. Oh, whoops. Just shoving stuff on the screen, hoping it would work. Hang on. Front. This is returning a basic view. So player ID is a view. Sorry, I've lost this. What's the syntax then? It should work after you put the ampersand after auto. I just need to build it, maybe. No, it hates that. Player entity variable cannot have the type auto. Perhaps not. After auto. What's wrong? What? You cannot create a reference to void. Dot get. What do you return? Returns a reference to the components for an entity. Attempting to get a component from an entity that doesn't own it results in undefined behavior. Well, this isn't... Oh, hang on. Yeah, this is wrong. Hang on, let me check the docs. Another character could be something you can only move by teleporting. You control them by slingshotting. Yeah, so actually one of the ideas I did mention was like a dodge mechanic. Where, you know, think of like Celeste, right? You can, you dodge mid-air. You move for about a second and a half in a set pattern, and then you gain control again. I like the idea of having like dodge rolls or like Gungeon, because it means you can have bullet patterns that enclose the player completely, and you have to dodge roll in time to get out. As long as I design the pattern in such a way that you can always dodge roll out at like a cardinal direction, that would work. And I think that could be fun. Like if you dodge roll at just the last second, as long as you know the distance, like in your head, intuitively, and you know there's bullets coming here, but you dodge roll perfectly to a safe spot. Maybe you get like a little damage bonus for a second or something to encourage you to move around bullets or something. I don't know. Or maybe you don't dodge, maybe you dash through it. I don't know. Whatever. Entity. Get. I don't think get's right. Is it get? I think they've called it... Have they called it base, or is that stupid? I mean, this works. It just doesn't have any components. That's weird. Oh, you might do it like this, actually. Hang on. Player trans. I guess player is empty, so you really just want transform, right? That's not right. Transform. Hang on. View.get. This is the view. Auto transform is view.get player ID. Entity contains no type information for the components, so you'll have to repeat them regardless. Oh. That's not right. Hang on. This is the doc I'm looking at. Rely on the each member function to iterate on both at once. This is what they're doing in the doc. Come on, dude. One component at a time. So they are getting a view on the registry for everything with a position, a velocity, and a renderable. So I'm just going to copy what they've done. I'm going to be perfectly honest. View, player, transform. Let's not do the front thing. View. Actually, no, we can do the dot front thing. We really want to copy this for every entity in the view. Oh, I hope I don't need to do that. Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck? What have I done? I've confused something. It really doesn't let you write titty, huh? Hang on, let's have another look at this. This is the doc, right? We just want one component at a time, multiple components, all components at once. We want to get multiple, we want to get one component. There's only one component that matters, right? So we need to make view is registry.view. I want anything that's a player and a transform. Okay? But this is... whatever. For every entity in view, transform is view.get transform. This technically works. I don't know why it's complaining, but this technically works. But I don't want to have a for loop here, even though I know there's only ever one thing. Hang on, this isn't even doing the .each thing. Some character could be something where the player moves automatically and all the player can do is defend his toggling on and off iframes against bullets, but having iframes on deals damage to the character. Are you thinking of the bloody Metapod minigame in Pokemon Stadium? Payment too. Thank you for the 22.
Titty wall budget.
Titty wall budget to you too, brother. Hang on. Does this build? Because this is from the official bloody docs. It is. Okay, this builds. Okay. So let's try and like deconstruct this for loop. For every entity in view. Why is view That's already in Pokemon Stadium. There's the mini game where you're in like a canyon and you can either be a Kakuna or a Metapod, and like these boulders come in like a timed pattern, like doof, 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 and you have to time pressing the A button to use Harden. But if you as you hold Harden, your health bar goes down. But obviously, if a rock hits you, you lose a bunch of health. So you have to either hold down the button and just die over time, or you have to perfectly time button presses with the rocks. Progress is good, Minty. I'll show you in a minute. Did you start anew? I absolutely did. It's going swimmingly. We're using entity component systems. We're currently writing an entity that reads the player's position, which is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Anyway, this is the player position. He sent a compiler explorer link on Discord explaining an example that works. Oh, what? This is working for me. You've got two structs with an int and a float. Well, I've got this, but this isn't a for loop. I just need this that's not a for loop. I thought I could just do like dot fuck off, dot fuck off, dot fun to get the first thing. So this would be entity. But then that's not, we don't have this view thing anymore. Hang on, what have you done then? So Donut's got the registry. He's placed in some components. So he's placed in some entities with some values. View is registry.view, this stuff. So this is functionally this. Okay, you've just separated the calls then. So you have, okay, that makes more sense then. Because that would then be, what have you done? You've made it const? Okay. Well, I just call, this match your naming scheme. Okay, I guess you just have to separate it. And if you want to pass in multiple things, you get different things. If I want to have like 4 arguments, do you do it like that? Like if you want to do that, would you do like A, B, C, D? Is that looks really stupid. Is that a different syntax to that? That's the idea, but you slowly heal while you're vulnerable. Oh, that's interesting. Double ampersand stands for forwarding / universal reference. Okay. It's not an ampersand for each level deeper you get. Okay. Ba-ba-bum. It's not a double. Okay, okay. Fair enough. Alright. Bloody fuck, that took a while. You don't. Player. Oh, sorry. I'll call this player transform. And then we'll do player transform dot position. Could even make it shoot at what the player just was. Player ID. I think you're confused. Oh, Midnight music, dude. I hope they have Twilight Princess references in the new game. Okay, it's not quite right. But it is affected by the player's position. That's interesting. That's cool though. Starting to work. I wonder what's wrong. Is this Z? It thinks it's at the bottom left of the screen right now. Oh my god, you're right. Why does it appear to fire slower? Because it's going horizontally, I guess. It's being normalized, isn't it? Right? So there's only so far, right? Is that right? Like it's firing at that exact position. I kind of want it to aim Or do I want that? This is kind of fun. Speed seems to be played. Yeah, right now it seems to be. It's because it's setting the initial velocity, not the shooting direction with a set speed. All right, we'll look at that in a second. Add bullet. Ah! Okay, it's the other thing we forgot. So action responder system. Do we not also set the weapon position to the player's position? Wait, hang on a second. Where's the weapon system? For every entity with a weapon and a transform, spawn a bullet at the transform's position. Wait, hang on. No, why would it be firing? I know it is firing from 0-0, but why? It's just because the entity isn't moving, I guess. The entity's transform is never being updated beyond the initialization assignment. Let's have a look, right? Spawn test enemy. I'm spawning it with a transform at the center of the screen. Oh, hang on. It's in the firing code, not the spawning code. Yeah, because it is in its position that it's in, because that's where it's drawing the sprite. Transform.position. Spawn bullet. Spawn bullet. Transform is the start position that is specified. Another idea could making a character that makes the game from bullet hell into pinball. You would normalize the difference vector and multiply it with the desired speed. Shooting towards the player and shooting towards the player from a position are different things. Let me have a look then, sorry. Fire position is 0-0-0. Is this even being used, though? I feel like this isn't being used. Yeah, this is currently unused. Funnily. Weapon system. For every entity with a weapon and a transform, spawn a bullet at the transform. No, sorry, you lost me. Weapon system is correct. You said the firing was broken. I guess this is not the firing. This is the firing. Spawn bullet. Transform and with a velocity. So this could be the center of the screen. You still lost me. Look at enemy system. Okay, so we've got the player position. This is some coordinate at the bottom of the screen. For every entity with a weapon and an enemy, check to see if you should fire a bullet. If so, you still lost me, dude. This enemy system has nothing to do with... It's using the position, not the difference. Hang on. That's not a target position you're supposed... That's not the position you're supposed to be passing in. Hang on. I'm spawning a bullet. Oh, is this the one that does nothing? No, this is the one that does something. Initial velocity. I guess this is just a point on the screen. It's not drawing a line. Hang on. Yeah, position isn't velocity. Yeah. Hang on. The way I was reading it, which is wrong, you don't need to tell me that, was that when I spawn a bullet here, the transform of the bullet is the enemy's transform. So, you know, like the middle of the screen. And the linear motion is set to that velocity. But it's not a velocity, that's a position. I guess I still thought that would work. I guess I need to calculate a trajectory. Any position minus player position. Yeah? Hang on. Why is that the case? Player transform position is the center of the screen, and every single tick I'm adding in the player transform to... Sorry, I still don't get why the... No, hang on, the bullet... Hang on, let me look at what I've done again. I would like to work it out rather than... I know you've told me the answer, but I want to try and work out why that is. So it is... Hang on, it is being spawned at the right place. I guess I forgot that. The bullet's being spawned in the right place. But every tick, it's adding... Well, hang on, how does linear movement work? It's this multiplied by that. Which I guess isn't quite right. Yeah. We're adding on every tick, we're adding on the player's position multiplied by the time in seconds between the last tick. So we're multiplying the player's position by like 0.016 or something, which I suppose makes sense. And what we need to do, you specify we need to do enemy position minus player position. Why is that the case? Why would that move this here? Well, let's put it in and see. Maybe seeing it will make more sense. Enemy position minus player position. I need to pass in the entity transform. So we can do auto starting start velocity is equal to, because it's starting to get a bit messy in here. Gee, who are you? Go away. I miss IntelliJ. Enemy position minus player position. Is this just going to be some like vector calculation thing that I would never know about? Hang on, why are you complaining? Oh, whoops. Why is that the case? This is what I get for being a fucking... Oh, it's... Okay, it's working now, but it's going the wrong way, I suppose. So it needs to be 0 minus that, maybe. Or does it need to be inverted somehow? That's probably wrong, right? Yeah, I don't quite know what I've done there. I thought it just needs to be the inverse. I guess not. Enemy position minus player position is like drawing a line from the player to the enemy. Well, it's actually player position to enemy position because it's the enemy shooting at the player. Yeah, okay. Like, I guess I just, you know, forgot that this is how you do that. This is the sort of thing I guess we were doing in WouHou 1. And it's not the sort of thing that comes up in my day-to-day life of building fucking apps. Okay, cool. It's aiming at the right thing now. But why is it time-based? Why is it shooting... Well, I forgot how to do additive inverses. It's amazing how much like random bullshit you never have to think about once you graduate, right? Unless you want to be like a systems designer. Yeah, dude, it's feeling like a bullet hell. Why is it? I want to normalize it, I guess. Right? Oh, the song stopped. The velocity is being passed is the line. The direction is correct, but the line is bigger, so is the velocity. Yeah, I understand. I'm normalizing it should... but what's the function to normalize called? Was it absolute vector? No, it is normalize. Oh, it's normalize. Where are you? Hang on. Normalize. Ah, Z. And then I need to multiply that, I suppose. Because this should just be quite slow, right? Yeah. To get a consistent speed, the difference vector would need to be not... Make sure the vector isn't 0, 0 before you normalized. Oh, shit. Okay. If auto velocity isn't equal to vec3, there must be an easy way to check if it's 0, right? Ah, I mean, it's just what I was about to type. Okay, sure. Wait, is this what I'm about to write? Yes. Okay, cool. That's nice. Oh, whoops. What's wrong? Why are you all strange? Oh, you're a empty bracket. So if it's not, we normalize it. And then after this, I want to multiply it. Although if I multiply it after it's 0, it's still 0, so that's fine actually. How do I want to set a... Really, this is just starting direction. I could just leave it there. You've explained the pinball idea in more detail. Oh, sorry. And by pinball bullet hell, you mean the player has pinball physics, takes no damage from bullets, but gets knocked back, and the movement keys control the flippers at the bottom of the screen. That does sound funny. That does. Alright. I'll be honest, I prefer the idea of the bullet having a normalized direction. I think. Or just a direction, which here happens to be normalized. And then I have the weapon mechanic decide how to shoot it. The weapon has like a projectile speed. Good night, Rob. Thanks for popping in. Good ideas today. Have a good sleep. Sorry, Donut. I need to be more pedantic. I apologize. I'll try to be in the future. Alright, cunts. Let's change this start velocity thing to start direction. Fantastic. And the bullet, you're gonna have a thing called this. We're gonna find initial velocity. We're gonna Alright, poggers. Look at it moving one pixel a second. Or something. Weapons system. Spawn bullet. Spawn bullet. This needs to be multiplied now, I guess, by some bullet speed. Multiplier? bullet speed. Really, I should just pass the weapon in here, I suppose. Should I just pass the weapon in here? Hang on. Nah. Let's chuck in. I'm gonna make a new thing. Weapon. It's gonna have something called a. Is shot interval still not being used? No, it is. What was not being used? Does each bullet want to have its own velocity, or the weapon have the velocity? Feels like a thing the weapon would control. But then again, I feel like the weapon might want to... Would the weapon want to randomize the velocity of its bullets? Like if you have a bubble launcher, some bubbles will go really quick and some will go a little slow. So I guess the weapon could have a base speed, and then the bullet itself could have a multiplier of that base speed. Each bullet needs its own velocity. Well, this is a velocity multiplier, not the direction. Don't worry. Like the bullet entity does have its own transform. That's fine. I'm talking about this struct that's more like bullet info, I guess. Can't rename it. How about now? Can't rename it. Whatever. It's the same information as direction plus initial speed, but packed into one vector. Yeah, you're right. Because I can always just renormalize it. Mona's trying to flex his degree. Start velocity. That's fair. In which case, the bullet does have its own thing baked in. My brain's twisting itself into a not thinking, oh, about in the future when you have bubble launchers. That's a problem we'll pass when we come to it. Ba, 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 ba. Da, da. Fuck off. Alright. Weapon system, enemy system. Maybe the enemy can track its fire speed. No, maybe. I think the bullet, there should be some... Let's just hard code it for now. Hard code. So we've normalized it, and now we're just going to multiply it by... How does multiplying vectors work? You said it if I just pass in like 250.f, I thought you said it's smart, like it would multiply each, like the x, y, and the z by that 250. So if it's -1 or +1, it would be -250 or +250 for each of those three. The z, I guess, would always be 0, but... Right? Yeah. Dude, no scalar in here. Get that out of here. Oh, it's already stressful. It's fantastic. Somehow it's like, it's so much more stressful. Alright. Beautiful. Let's create a thing for predicting the player's motion. How difficult is that? That can't be that difficult, right? Because it's not going to be perfect. It's just going to be like, if the player's moving in a constant direction, the bullet would hit. So it's got to take in the player's velocity and the player's position into the direction, into the starting boy, right? When it's 0-0, it might be worth to pick a random direction, because otherwise you end up with bullets that are completely still. True, but if the bullet that's being fired at the player is at 0-0, presumably it would instantly hit the player. Because if they have iframes, I'd still destroy. Yeah, you know what? Let's just have them go, like, down. How about, even simpler, if it is 0-0-0, then we just directly set it to -1. Straight down. Right? Oh, whoops. I think that's straight down, isn't it? I don't know how we'd really check that, because it's a float. I guess I could set the player's starting position to the center of the screen. Let's make it fire to the top left to make it testable. But then I'm going to go to game, spawn player. I'm just going to spawn it on top of the enemy. This should fire like in a weird direction then, right? Yeah. And then it's going to be impossible to ever get that spot again. So if I go back here and I set this to 0. If the player happens to be directly on the enemy, making it fire down is probably fine, right? Yeah, look. Perfect. Cool. Spawn player. 0. Okay. Nice. It is nice. Alright, lower order polynomials. I'm going to add my first thing to bullet, my second thing to bullet. I'm gonna... is this stupid? I was gonna say, should I just add a flag that says, like, predict player movement, true, false? Because that would simplify things. But then, wherever that thing is false, I'm then wasting an entire byte of memory. And also defeating the purpose of components. Should I have 2 for loops? Like, one for every bullet with the predict, one for every bullet without predict. It could be an enum bullet type to allow for expansion in the future. I think that's what we did in the original WouHou. We had an aim type. Well, I was also thinking as an alternative. I don't know if this is more C++-y or if this is stupid. But if I made bullet like an interface or an abstract or interface? Whatever the fuck it's called in C++. Abstract? What's it called? Virtual? Is that what a virtual is? Can only... non-static. I was thinking, like, if I had, like, a bullet parent... If I had a bullet parent, right, and then you can't instantiate that, but you then had, like, basic bullet and homing bullet and smart bullet that inherit, and then in this function here, I check the type. So if the type is homing bullet, if the type is basic bullet, if the type is blah blah blah, that's basically the same as just having a fucking enum, but it's saving like a byte, maybe for extra confusion. But then again, it means if I end up having loads of bullet functions that aren't just like a one boolean, I might end up having like 24 fucking variables that are unnecessary. You know? I guess bullet type predicted is the same as what I've just said. Except instead of setting the class of the bullet itself, you're setting the class, or you're setting an enum value of a variable it holds and just saying it has 1, which is fine. And it's not that complicated. So let's just do that. Uncomplicate it. Oh, that's unnecessary. Do I need to put this up here? Sorry, my syntax is poor. You didn't know. Okay. With base classes and inheritance, you would need a virtual function, which means adding an 8-byte vtable pointer and a virtual function call that contains at least 2 levels of indirection. In other words, it's very slow. Not to mention you would need to store the bullets on the heap and incur a bunch of memory allocations. Incidentally, you wrote your master's thesis on this. You know what, dude? Fair enough. I wrote my dissertation on fucking virtual golf level generation. We are not the same. I mean that in a positive light. I think that's fair enough. Thank you. That's good advice. This I kind of like. And if I really wanted, as stupid as it is, I could make bullet type a list of like bullet attributes, which function exactly the same as bloody components. But a bullet could have multiple attributes, like explodes funnily and sets fire and is electric. It could just be like a hash map, or sorry, a set or something, and the bullet could have that. Does that sound really stupid, or does that seem fine? Right? Like, we have, like, attributes. I don't know what a set is called in this language, but I don't think this hash set is there. We have, like, a set of attribute. Because that's, like, a nice order 1. Although I know sets are memory inefficient, so maybe it's not the best way to do it. And again, maybe this should just be handled via components. Yeah, it's pretty slow for this. Yeah, because it's... Wait, unordered sets shouldn't be slow, should it? Hashing functions are quick, aren't they? You have the golf game on my PC. Hell yeah. I'm thinking at this point, maybe I should just have a component for attributes, right? Memory allocation. Okay. It's good for things that happen once, but not for something I'm going to do for every single bullet. What should I do then, you reckon? Should I just attach these attributes as components then? And then have additional multipliers? If I design it so an enemy only needs to have one... Okay, actually, I've got a thought. We split it up, right? We have attributes, and we have movement type, okay? Movement type is something that you can only have one of, and you have to have, okay? Everything has one movement type, okay? Predicted, basic, or homing, and maybe more later. Okay? We have additional components at a later point. Like, you know, lightning element. You know, and we have like an element. You know? So we're gonna have lightning or like explodes. We could start applying this stuff later, and then when it comes to like the collision detection, for example, or the damage calculations, we check to see if the entity also has any of these. Maybe? Or like during the hit detection system, we load every bullet that's electric. And then like a map, so we can check that quickly. You could use a bit set for attributes. Rather than bit set, maybe writing your own flag xenon would work just as well. Really? Okay, are there going to be more than like 1,000 bullets on screen at once? 1,000 bytes is like a kilobyte, right? Am I worrying about moving like, I don't know, 20 kilobytes of stuff through memory when we have RAM that does like 5,000 megahertz? You could store a bunch of entity ideas and bullets to fire, which are pre-created with these components. I feel like I might be overthinking something. Anyway, this is not relevant to the current thing we're doing, I think. I just wanted to implement movement type. That's fine, okay? Where is bullet being created? Basic towards player movement type. I would just basic, predicted, and homing. Even better. And then I can have a target somewhere else. Where's bullet being created? Add bullet. So, action responder system. This is stupid. Movement type. This seems very messy, doesn't it? You have enum class now? Dude. I didn't know about that. Has it always had that? Dude, sick. It doesn't mean the same thing as in Kotlin. Yeah, because I don't think enums are really a thing in Kotlin. It's like sort of budged. Okay, well, whatever. Why are you confused? Oh, it needs to be the other way around. Very swifty of you. Then where else is add bullet being... Stop this. Where's add bullet being called? Enemy system? Bugger. It's in the wrong place. It makes it a scoped enum as opposed to a bunch of free names. Okay. Okay, so we're going to add a bunch of bullets that have this predicted flag, okay? no, wait, this is stupid. The weapon needs to have that. The weapon needs that. Yeah, because I'm thinking if I want an enemy to both fire things at the player and then in some other pattern, I just give them 2 weapons. Right? Yeah. Okay. Wait, hang on. What am I doing? Yeah, no, this makes sense. This makes sense. This makes sense. You make sense. This is correct. You are doing the right thing here. This is sensible. This makes sense. Different types of weapon components. Yeah. Okay, how about this? Basic weapon. Is that one? Can you not do this in C++? Oh, underneath. Can you do this? Is this allowed? How do I make it so you're not allowed to instantiate something in C++? It's not virtual. What's an abstract in what's in C++? Is virtual abstract? Yes. Okay. Oh god, we're mixing oop. I love it. I kind of like this. So you're not allowed to give something weapon, I think. I hope this is how that works. You're not... Hey, Scout. You're not allowed to give something a weapon. You have to give it a specific kind of weapon. Oh, final. Final weapon? Unknown type final. I think you'll find it exists. Weapon final? Struct? Oh, final struct? Weapon final? Do I know to make it open? You went to school? Oh, congrats, dude. That's awesome. How are you celebrating? Eat a book, maybe. Grind it up in the blender. That's awesome, dude. Was it where you wanted to get to? You wouldn't be able to derive it. The syntax would be struct weapon final. That's what I've written. Drink a book. Yeah, you say you got into school. It's not uni. Is it not still like a thing you had to like apply for and get into? Every struct can be derived by default. I want it to... Okay, I want it so you can derive from weapon, but you cannot instantiate weapon. Is it not a virtual struct? Viral. Like, I want it so you have to make a basic firing weapon. You can't just make a weapon. Or could... Then you make a protected constructor. Oh, you just do, protected... Weapon... Like that. Nope, that's not it. Guess I'll make a public section. Oh, like this? Yeah. So these can call their own. Wait, hang on. Are you allowed to do that? You can just override something and then suddenly you can create it. That seems a little sus. But okay, if that works. This should then fail to compile, right? Because stuff has been given the bullet component, and I didn't want that to be allowed. Yes. So test enemy needs to have a, not a homing weapon, a predicted firing weapon. So you should work, right? Or do I need to give you a public? What the fuck? You'll probably want to keep the default public constructor, because otherwise you won't be able to do aggregate initialization from the derived classes. I'm sorry? Am I allowed to do this in C++? Can I do that? Are you allowed to just like sneak your way in, like subclass something and then make it a public constructor? It seems like it wouldn't be allowed. Oh, you have to write using, right? This is a little messy. Okay. So you're saying that I just, instead of doing this protected thing, I just do this. So you can't... I guess I could write the constructor myself, but then it would mean I'd have to write the constructor for every single component, right? Bloody hell. Can I like just cheese it like this? Hey, Bowser. Wait, can I make... Hang on, are you allowed to do this? Constructor cannot be declared virtual. Damn. And then in all of these, do I need to do using weapon? Like that. Do I need to do this? I thought you said I wanted to do this. That's not the right syntax though, is it? What the fuck is that? Hello, Q-tip tip codes. I'm working on a bullet hell. How are you? I'm currently working on a bullet system to like predict whether the player's moving to shoot at them. Hey Bowser, hello Nyan. Hello. Aggregate works on derived types out of the box by passing in an instance of the base class. Oh, okay, yeah. So this method from before would just work if this is a weapon, right? Because I'm initializing a predicted firing weapon with just a weapon. And then the enemy needs to have a weapon that is a predicted firing weapon. The player's weapon is actually... Oh wait, hang on, sorry. The player's weapon is actually a basic weapon. I'm thinking you'll actually compile. Yeah, I thought so. So let's see, does this still... No, okay. So I do need to do this. Weapon base, yeah. That would make sense. Or I add like an underscore and hide it far away so you can't see it. How does it work with components though? Because here, I'm trying to view every weapon. Is there no way to aggregate every weapon subclass? Bye, Worm. Thank you. I'm sure I will solve it. Can I not get a view on subclasses? On like everything that is, because these are weapons, right? These are the things they have are weapons. You sure that's not possible? So I do have to individually do it for each bloody thing. Okay. Why did you fail? Explain that to me. Is abstract classes a thing? Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I was trying to make it so you can't... So this would be abstract with virtual, but apparently it just doesn't... It doesn't work the way we want it to work. And then we tried like, oh, we can just make it so the constructor is private, but then you can't use, what did you call it? Aggregate initialization, where you can construct something with automatically generated constructors. So instead of me having to write a constructor to set shoot interval and cooldown and stuff, a constructor is generated because it notices that these don't have a set value. So I can construct those. And I could hide the constructor for this, but then I'd have to write a constructor for all of these things, which is a pain. I don't want to do that. This language seems a little poo-poo, I'm going to be honest with you. As does this program, like you just can't refactor. It's just not allowed. Highly illegal refactoring. C poo-poo, that's what it stands for, dude. You need to pay to use C line? It's crazy. Okay. Well, whatever. No, actually that's really stupid, isn't it then? This just doesn't work. Because then it means I'm going to need to do a view on every single... No, this is stupid. Because hang on. This just seems really stupid. Is this not a ton of copy and pasting? Or just calling? Maybe not. Maybe it's not stupid. It seems stupid. Because now, not just weapon, I'm going to have to do... I mean, I can make, like... I can extract the fucking center boy out of this, I guess. Refactor. Extract... No refactoring extract method? Stupid bloody program. Basic weapon. Template metaprogramming. I'm gonna put this as a function. Void handle weapon. What do I need to pass in? You need a transform and a weapon. Alright. Show me quick edits. No quick fixes available. You really make me write this shit by hand like some kind of nerd. Okay. What's wrong? Function is not marked const. Alright then. How about one of these old beans? Oh, there you go. Now you're happy. Oh, rip, I've got laptop charger at work. 1% left. Oh, shit. Thanks for popping in. Bye-bye. That's horrible. Charge it quickly. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. This is what people use template metaprogramming, like the system list example you sent me on Discord, if you saw it earlier. Oh, sorry. When did you send all this? Did I not reply? Did I not see this? Oh no, I did see this. I will do this at some point. I can't be asked to look at that right now. I'm just going to do this. But fair enough. Where else is weapon being used? Action responder system? This seems really messy. Here's good music. No, the system listing is cool. I'm just fucking exhausted, dude. It's 11. I've been working since 8:30. They're just gonna only check for basic firing weapons right now. This language kind of sucks. Oh. So, for every... I'm fucking falling asleep here. For every predicted firing weapon... Alright, this is basic firing weapon. Okay, so tired of this. Yeah, the noise was scary, sorry. It's frightening, isn't it? Well, for now, I'm gonna copy and paste. I'll fix this some other time when I haven't worked for however many hours. 15 hours? That's not right. 10 hours, 10 and a half hours, 13 hours. I don't know. There's only so long I can stare at the fucking code. I just wanted to do the predicted thing. So if it's a predicted firing weapon, instead of getting the player's position, we get a player predicted position. Auto predicted position equals this. How do I calculate that? Do I need to... I'm sort of like... Yeah, the handle weapon thing might have made more sense. Yeah. It's because right now I don't know where in the function I'm gonna put it. You know what? Let's do something hilarious. Jesus Christ. Oh, I've got an extra fucking... Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, this is not copy and pasted quite right. It's like this. How do you check the type of something in C++? How do I check its class? Like this is what I want to write in sudo. I want to add in some like stuff. Like if it's basic, do nothing. If it's predicted, you know, aim at the player. You can't because the weapon you're passing in is just the base class part. This language is a little stupid. You're telling me because... Really? Because weapon here is a subclass of weapon, so it should pass in here. Can I not check to see what the weapon's real class is? God, that's such a stupid bloody feature. Alright. Well, fine. Can I just have a fucking, like... Can I just do a wild card then? Like, how do I wild card in this bloody language? Can I just tuck in like a T like this? How would the language know what the original derived class was? I assume you're passing in an instance which has a class. Having a huge collection of music must be nice. I'm just playing like YouTube playlists that are a few hours long, and every time they run out I click on another one. You have to store the class ID somehow. Okay. Feature-rich language. Stupid bloody language. Alright, well, I'm gonna do something extra stupid. What a feature. Can you not do this in C++? You can't, can you? I'll just do it like this. Do I need to write break in this language, or does it know? Does it have implicit break? Probably not, right? Break is required. Okay, how do you calculate a predicted position? I need the player's velocity, right? I think. Let's pass in the player entity here instead. What does the player have? How perfectly do you want it to be predicted? Draw a triangle in paint. Oh. I need to work out this line, which is the player. In my head, I need to work out the distance between. So you got the player position. Oh, I can just get paint open, right? I know this is like fucking GCSE level maths, but guess when I did my GCSEs. All right, here's paint. Right. We got this shit right. We got the enemy. We got the player. And we've got where the player's going to be. The future. The target. Right? So the player is going to be moving this way. The enemy right now can see where the player is. I need to work out this. Right? Stupid colors. Sorry. Right? So this is already handled. This is handled by subtracting the position from each other. This is handled by getting the player's position and adding its velocity to it. But then you're only predicting it a frame in advance, right? If I wanted to predict it several frames in advance, then you'd multiply it by the number of frames. Right? Because you're basically saying how long do you want this line to be? When do you want it to hit? I guess I hadn't thought about that. How do you do this? Is this one of those times where you can use like cosine and sine? Because I be 100% honest with you, I don't remember how that shit works. It feels like this is like a basic ass maths function. Because I remember like a squared plus b squared equals c squared and all that bullshit. But like, I can get like an approximation of this line every tick, but I want to. You think trigger necessary for this? Is it just getting? I've got this point, right? This is gotten from adding up minusing the enemy and the player's things from each other. And this is from adding on the trajectory that the player will take. But I feel like I'm only going to get like this position, right? Like if I just add on the velocity directly, multiplied by delta time, I'm basically saying this is where it's going to be in like the frame. So really the enemy would shoot here, which isn't quite right. I want it to shoot where it's going to match up. Because by the time it's shot in this direction, the player will have gotten here. Player minus target P minus T. Oh, you've done it. Those are the letters I used. P minus T, which is the position. It's the this direction, right? Well, this direction, this vector, is the player multiplied by, I don't know what this is. Or by T, do you mean time? Is big T time? Player, is that what you mean? How does this work? Do I need to say like a time? Like I want to say where the player's going to be in a second, or is there... I'm too tired for this, I think. Delta time. Well, the bullet has a speed, right? A known set linear speed. Right? Can I not... Does this not factor into the equation, like the speed at which it hits this vector? Sure, we can get that vector then. We know the direction the player's at least pointed in, because they'll be moving in a position of some kind, or not moving at all. So I think we do need to multiply. Yeah, this is not what I was built for. This feels like a solved problem, right? Predict where transposition will be. How can one predict the position of a moving object given its previous positions? Tower defense, shooting, player prediction. Predict where the player will be. Here we go. Because I remember there was a really good game maker. Like when I was like a child, I found like a library in Game Maker that perfectly predicted where the enemy was going to be along the path, and I found it like magic. Tower defense, shoot at player, C++. Predict player movement, shoot at player. How to lead a moving target from a moving shooter. There's a quadratic equation of the form A multiplied by the square root of x? You mean square as opposed to square root? Well, that's confusing. Just subtract the shooter's movement vector from the target's movement vector. Is that right? This does seem like a solved issue. I have a bullet velocity already. How does this look? Hang on, what's wrong here? Oh, hang on. I'll look at this in a second. I'm passing in an entity. What are you? How about auto? Auto player entity equals view.get. Oh. This should be that, this should be this should be this and this. No, to pass the view in as well. Bugger. Okay. I guess I should just pass the view in then, huh? To be sensible. Well, I mean, at this point, why am I passing that in? Oh, so it doesn't have to be done every for loop. Hang on, no, this is more sensible. I'm stupid. Get out of here. I think just getting the player velocity up here is fine. I don't need to get this in for every single bullet. That's stupid. Player velocity, and I just have to choose whether or not I want to use it. This is where I would be using this. Paint is still blocking. Oh, sorry. You are going to want trigonometry. Well, this is some code I've stolen off the internet. This seems like an awful lot, doesn't it? Wait, why direction Y? No, I don't like this. It does seem like it's fucking messy though, right? Vector ops. Yeah, I think so. But I'm wondering what the calculations need to be. This is just a 3D geometry problem. You need the relative position and relative velocity of the shooter and the target. Then you need to solve the equation. Position plus t multiplied by vel equals t multiplied by fire speed times x plus minus square root 1 minus x to the power of 2? What the fuck? Oh. What's the word for this? How do I search for this? Like, direction to moving vector. Bullet predict. Fucking hell. How do you predict the future position of a moving target? You calculate the time the projectile will take to hit the target by dividing the distance from the target by the projectile velocity. Time equals distance divided by velocity. If you have those in vector form, use their magnitudes. Now, multiply the target's velocity vector by the calculated time and add the result to the position, which gives you the predicted position of the target. This may not be accurate because we calculate the flight time using the old position. You could use a dumb AI and update it every step. That's true. That's not what I'm doing here. Hey Spirit, thank you for the raid. How are you doing, brother? How are you? Hello, hello. Linear extrapolation. Least squares. Ah, I should just be using Unity. It has something called vec3 move towards. Move towards. No, I'm not using Unity. Hey Spirit, how was your stream? Were you wowing it up? Calculate how long it takes. Distance divided by bullet velocity equals time in seconds. Take the target's forward vector and multiply it by the target's speed. Take the resulting vector and multiply it with the time it takes for the bullet to reach the target. Add the target's position to the multiplied vector. That makes sense. This makes complete sense, actually. Hang on, we found it. Stale Mud 3 years ago on Reddit with 2 upvotes. I think he's got it. Right? So if we... Oh, he's donut. The moment I fucking find something, he posts the answer. Classic. Played terrible in Raid? What the fuck? But you were there, Spirit, so it can't... The floor is already super high for how pog as it can be. No matter how terrible your raid was, you can't pull down from the ceiling that you're in because you're mad poggers. Aim direction equals player position plus player velocity minus enemy position divided by bullet speed. Is that different to this? The target's current position... Wait, hang on, you've done it differently. Aim direction. Let's bring paint back. I need paint. Hang on. This seems like something I should just install a library for. I can't think that. Do everything manually. Oh, but why aren't you using a engine? Ah, that's a good question. Oh, whoops. Right. You're saying that the aim direction is the player position plus the player velocity minus the enemy position divided by bullet speed. Is that correct? The thing I've got here says distance divided by bullet velocity. Divided by bullet velocity. Distance. So I think that's what you've done. Multiply it by the target's position. You haven't got that. You sent your math on Discord if you want to check. Is it different to this? I guess there's multiple ways to do it. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's used fucking lines. Oh, you must be right. Look at all this shit. You know what I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking about... But you're a smart boy doing it. I'll try your thing out. Let's see how it works. That's beautiful. How can you do this at nearly midnight? I don't want to know. I don't want to know what methamphetamines you're on. Maybe I do. Alright. Let's paste in the donut. Stop all this. Hang on, how do I add these things together? Player velocity. Ah! Whoops. Whoops, that's not right. I've done this weirdly. Yeah, I've done this weirdly. How have I done velocity? Is it linear movement? Linear motion. I think it's linear motion. Player... Yeah, player velocity equals view.get linear motion dot linear velocity. Player... Let's actually just pass in the position. Player position, player velocity, player position, player position. Fucking... Evolution. Alright. Ah! Runtime error. Ah, it's something in here. If I chuck this stuff in, does it work again? Nope. Something else is breaking it. What's going wrong? Hang on. Debug console. Do I need to... It is debug mode. No, wait. Release. No, wait. That's right. Hang on. It's going to beep again, chat. Watch out. Prepare your ears. Assertion fails. Contains entity. Sparse set. Is it here? Does the player not have a linear motion? I thought they did. Maybe they don't. I guess they don't. Physics, I guess. Oh, doesn't that make this a huge fucking pain? Or just physics might have its own thing, actually. Player... Wait, hang on. Does it just have linear velocity? Oh, it does. Oh, maybe that works. Doesn't have to be super precise. What's wrong, dude? Oh, the game's running. There we go. Okay, it's no longer firing, but the player is shooting 100,000 fucking bullets a second. That's not right. Okay, I've messed something up. I think, don't know, it was breaking because of something else, don't worry. Enemy system. During tick. I don't really know why the enemy isn't shooting. Maybe I do this. Does the enemy start shooting? No. Okay. What's wrong? For every entity weapon transform. Basic firing weapon. Predicted. Homing. I don't know why this is breaking. For every entity with an action responder and a firing thing, tie the countdown loop to this. Maybe it's the enemy firing? It might be the enemy firing, actually. Hang on. If I just don't call this, does nothing happen now? Yeah. Oh no. Wait, hang on. What the fuck? Why is it doing this? The timer's broken, dude. I don't think it defaults to 0. Is that the issue? No, that might be. That might not be the issue. It definitely defaults to 0. Okay. Shot interval. If I make this like 10. That doesn't matter. It's clearly just spawning like a lot of them. Spawn test enemy. You no longer have a weapon. Okay? I've gotten rid of it. The enemy doesn't even have a weapon. This is just the player's weapon doing this. Okay, that's fine. Action responder. Let's print this shit. Format. Player bullet. It's okay. It's okay. I don't want to finish a stream with a program that won't compile because it'll make it horrible to continue next time. But I'm fucking exhausted. I should go to bed, dude. It's nearly Friday. Alright, so the printout is correct. It's firing more than necessary. Is it no longer clearing the list, maybe? That might be it. That might be it. That might be it. That's probably it. Weapon.bullets to fire.clear. Why? You're copying the weapon instead of making a reference to it. The bloody plus. I knew that was going to bite me in the ass at some point. What's the syntax? Oh, whoops, sorry. I think weapon's the only thing I'm really changing in here. Okay, it doesn't... Maybe it does predict where the player's going, but not in any reasonable amount of time. It just looks like it's firing ahead of you. This has fixed the issue though. I feel like it can hit the player faster than this. Although if you're standing still, it does hit the player. It seems to take a very... Do I not need to multiply it by delta time or something? I feel like there should be a time element in here somewhere. The code we had up here said distance divided by bullet velocity is time. We're dividing by bullet. You haven't removed the minus 250. Do I not need to do that? This is the bullet speed, isn't it? This doesn't do anything. Is that really the soonest the bullet... Like, if I increase the velocity a lot... Direction and velocity are different. Oh, hang on, I thought I was copying what you did. I am... Wait, hang on, is that not... I guess it's not. I guess it would be a vector... It would be this. Is it... It's probably not, right? Well, this would be normalized, I guess. This is not it. Are you being pedantic at midnight, Donut? Come on, man. Oh, hang on. Hey Jameson, what Toho game should you start with? Try either you can buy one of the newer ones on Steam, or you could play one of the fan games. Fantastic Danmaku Festival are really good. They're quite cheap, and they're remakes of 6 and 7. Look into this. Anyway, sorry Donut, you're right, this is wrong, because I'm normalizing it here, which makes sense that it's breaking, right? I think. Right? We're finding this fun direction, and then we're crushing it back to 1, and then multiplying it again. Which is then incorrect, right? So perhaps I only need to do this in here. For the other one, the basic, I guess. Well, let's see what this does. Actually, this is... Well, what does this do? Hang on. Bit weird. Nice sprites, thank you. It does need to be normalized and multiplied, right? But then that makes this conversation a lot harder, doesn't it? Because if we normalize it, we don't get this weird speed issue. Okay. My phone's going off, hang on. Oh, Chris is in France right now, by the way, chat. Whoa! Oh god, I've been streaming so much longer than I meant to. Holy shit. I'm still streaming. Sorry. Are you busy? We can chat in 10 or do... Oh, say hi to chat. Chris says hi, chat. Do you need snooze? Well, in which case then, let me have a look at this example written before. This is fine. Predicted isn't even implemented yet. Break. Just don't even do anything. Let's just do this. Oh, the song ended. Sure. I'm really hungry. Okay, snooze defer. Let's do this. Time, auto time is equal to this. Did you buy Chris some chocolates for her birthday? Dude, you know it. Ugh. I also took her out for dinner. We went to a really cool restaurant, actually. I'm not going to say where it was because it's doxing myself. But we went to a nice restaurant and got some cocktails. And then I've taken her out for a few hot chocolates. As one does. Time is distance divided by bullet velocity. Is time in seconds. Don't know if this is right. We define the time of impact by solving a system of equations and use that to determine it. I think you might be right. This is a lot more complicated than I expected. I kind of thought this was like a solved issue and this would take 3 seconds. Calculate the forward vector and multiply it by the target's speed. Forward vector. Don't know if that's quite right, but whatever. Multiply it with the time it takes for it to reach the target. Auto something equals time by layer vector. Add that position to the multiplied vector. This seems odd. This doesn't seem right. Well, thank you, Dennett. Yeah, it's currently firing nothing. There must be another thing for this. Good night, Budscone. View the projectile as an expanding circle over time, and the target is moving on a line, and find where they intersect. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is very fucking complicated. Maybe not. Maybe it's just because they're using actual algebra instead of like variable names. Bonus GIF. Here is the thread. I've created this little AI archer arena as my desktop wallpaper. I cannot set them to fire straight at the opponent because it always moves and the shooter always misses. Draw concentric circles around the shooter for each time step with a radius That sounds slow as balls, doesn't it? Being like just doing a while loop to try and find where this sphere intersects with a line. That sounds slow as hell. This person's quadratic is this. You don't have to do it iteratively. There's an analytical solution for the same thing, yeah. This guy on Reddit 7 years ago has drawn this, which I'm going to steal. This is by Mortifera J. I'm going to put paint on the screen. This is what they've written. Can you read that? It works out where the circle would intersect. I think the circle approach makes sense. Here we go, let's do this. I'm also going to rename this to paint so I don't lose it. The name is in use. Fantastic. It says new position is old position multiplied by plus velocity multiplied by time. Okay. Circle equation. X... Wait. Radius of our circle is shit. Bonk. The quadratic... This should never miss. Ew, maths. I know, right? I fucking agree. Get that shit off my screen. Window capture 3. Get that off my screen too. They don't use cosine. This person's doing it with sine, but I feel like sine's quite a slow thing, right? You want to avoid it. This example that I just showed on screen is this. So if I can implement that, I don't get the equals 0 bit. I guess I don't know what a quadratic is. Time to use Taylor series. Dude, Tay-Tay, you can show me her tunes, whatever. But don't show me her quadratic functions, okay? Keep that shit to yourself. You can do it with vector math and a square root. Sine seems unnecessary. It seems like such a solvable issue, right? This is the velocity difference between the firing object's velocity, so the bullet velocity, and the object being fired at's velocity. S is the bullet's speed. This is the difference between the position... Fucking God. Midnight is not when I want to be doing this. This other one just does sine. I mean, I can try it with the sine just to see if it works. I don't know if it's... I don't care if it's necessarily slow. I just want to see anything working. Player vector. Angle from us to that. Wait, hang on. This is then... this... multiplied by player velocity divided by projectile speed, which is 250. A10. Oh god, what is it doing? What is this? I guess it's taking the player's speed into account. Why is it so obsessed with sticking to the walls? I guess it's taking the player's literal movement. Like it's just copying the... Working perfectly. Dude, math, it's so easy. Looks cool. It kind of does. It's like the opposite. Stupid. Vector minus vector. It's not an angle. Angle from them to us. That's this thing. What the fuck is A tan 2? Tangent. Really? That looks like it's not real. Hey Glockle, you look like Harry Potter. The fuck? A tan 2 yx is A tan y divided by x, but with the correct sign. Oh, hang on, I've done minus. You want it like this. A tan overloaded, no overloaded function takes 1 argument. What? Oh. I'm fucking losing my mind. Sine their movement minus their angle from us. You need to do calculate enemy player position minus enemy position. Oh. Something different. What's wrong? Oh. I'm so tired. What's your code in? I don't know anymore. I really don't. Alright, I'm gonna just go to bed, I think. I've got work in 8 hours. This was fun. Let's just do this. Alright. This is what we end the stream on today. Kind of half of what I wanted to do, I think, but we ended up getting really caught up on this predicted thing. Like, it'd be nice if with the predicted thing we could have a strength of prediction. Because really then we're just making a laser. Anyway, we've made it so you can spawn enemy and it shoots a fucking bullet. And there's different weapon types, although they don't really do anything yet. Spent 3 hours on this, huh? Next time we'll do collision, because that's what I meant to do today. Oh yeah, the player can shoot. Alright, thanks Donut. I'm going to end the stream for now. I hope you all had a good evening. I will see you all tomorrow for something different. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye.